Let's look at a program that transfers the letter Y serially at a baud rate of 9600 Hz continuously. And we are going to use a subroutine that sends the value stored in accumulator serially through the THD pin. So the first step in serial communication programming will be to select mode 1 for serial communication, and for that you have to copy the required value into SEON register. The D7 and D6 bits of SEON are SM0, SM1. They determine the mode of serial communication. And to select mode 1, their value should be 0, 1. That is, D6 of SEON should be equal to 1 and all other bits should be 0. The bit pattern is 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So the hexadecimal equivalent of this binary pattern will be 40H. So the first step is to load SEON with the value 40H. The instruction for that is move SEON comma hash 40H. This will select serial communication mode 1. Once we have selected mode 1 for serial communication, we have to configure timer 1 in auto reload mode, that is mode 2. The T mode register has the bit pattern gate CT bar M1 M0, gate CT bar M1 M0. The upper nibble is for timer 1, and in serial communication we have to configure timer 1 in mode 2. So the lower nibble will be 0 since timer 0 is not used, and gate and CT bar of timer 1 should also be 0, and M1 M0 bits for timer 1 should be 1 0 because we require mode 2. So the binary pattern will be 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 0. The hexadecimal equivalent will be 20H. So you have to load 20H into T mode register. The instruction for that is move TMOD comma hash 20H. Now once you have selected mode 2 for timer 1, you have to load an initial count into TH1 so that you get a baud rate of 9600 Hz. The initial count corresponding to 9600 Hz is FD. You can just remember that or you can calculate it using the formula. And if you're calculating using the formula, assume a crystal frequency of 11.0592 Hz. Sorry, 11.0592 megahertz. So you have to load FD into TH1. The instruction for that is move TH1 comma hash 0FDH. This will give you a baud rate of 9600 Hz. And once all the three initialization steps have been carried out, you can now start the timer. Set bit TR1 will start the timer. Now a 9600 Hz clock will be available for serial communication. Now, in this program, we are going to use a subroutine that will transfer the contents of the accumulator through the THD pin. So, the data to be transmitted should be available in the accumulator. So, you have to copy Y into the accumulator. The instruction for that is move A comma hash capital Y within single quotes. This instruction will copy the ASCII code of capital Y as an immediate value into the accumulator. So after this instruction, the accumulator will contain the ASCII code of capital Y. Now you can call the subroutine that will transfer the contents of the accumulator through the THD pin, and the name of that subroutine is send. So a call send will call the subroutine that transfers the content of the accumulator serially. Now let's look at the subroutine send. We have used the label SEND here. So the first instruction of the subroutine should have the same label SEND. And the instructions in the subroutine are as follows. We have to transfer the contents of the accumulator serially. So when you have to transfer a byte serially, you have to copy that byte into the SBUF register. That is the instruction that will transmit the byte serially. So now the data to be transmitted is in the accumulator. It has to be copied into SBUF. The instruction for that is move SBUF comma A. Now the content of the accumulator will be copied to SBUF, and when this instruction is executed, this data byte will be transferred out through the THD pin D0 first. Data will be framed using a start and stop bits. Start bit will go out first, followed by D0, D1, etc., D7, and then stop bit. That is the order in which data will be transferred. Now we have to see if the transfer is complete before we load a new value into SBUF. What is the method for doing that? We have to monitor the TI flag. While TI is 0, it means the data is being transferred and the transmission is not complete. Whenever the entire byte has been transferred, TI will become 1. So we have to wait as long as TI is equal to 0. When TI is equal to 0, we should wait. And when TI is equal to 1, it means data transmission is complete. We can load the new value. So the instruction that will make us wait on the TI flag is JNB TI L1. L1 should be the label of the same instruction. So as long as TI is equal to 0, this jump will be taken. This jump to L1 will occur, and L1 is the label of the same instruction. Again TI will be checked. If it is 0, we will jump to L1 and we will continue here until TI becomes 1. When TI becomes 1, we will come out of the loop, and that means the data byte has been transmitted out completely. So once we come out of the loop, we can clear TI so that we can monitor it for when another byte is being transmitted. So clear TI is very important. It should be cleared so that we can monitor the next byte of data. Now once TI is cleared, we can return to the main program, and the instruction for that is RET. And when you come back to the main program, you will come to this step, sjump L2. L2 is the label of the instruction where you load the ASCII code of Y into the accumulator. So what happens now? The ASCII code of Y will be copied into the accumulator, and the subroutine will be called again, and it will send the contents of the accumulator through the THD pin again. It is specified in the question that you have to transfer Y continuously. So that is why we have jumped to L2, and L2 is labeled L2 is the label of the instruction move A comma hash Y. So these steps will be continuously repeated, and the THD pin will be sending out the ASCII code of Y continuously. Now it is not absolutely necessary that you include move A comma hash Y in the loop, because the content of the accumulator does not change in this program. But this pattern has been given because it can be a small word instead of the letter Y. Suppose you have to transfer yes, YES. Then how will you modify this program? First, you have to copy the ASCII code of Y into the accumulator, A call send. Then you have to copy the ASCII code of E into the accumulator and A call send. Then you have to copy the ASCII code of S into the accumulator and call send. And these three steps should be repeated continuously. So if the program is to transfer a small word continuously, then you have to include the step where you copy the byte into the accumulator in the continuous loop. That's why this program has been written in this manner. And suppose it is not specified that you have to transfer continuously, you just have to transfer Y once, then the label L2 should be the label of the instruction sjump. L2 should come here. So sjump L2, L2 should be here. So if it is written as said now, then Y will be transferred once and the program will end in a never-ending loop, a continuous loop here. So this program is for transferring continuously. If you have to transfer only once, then this label L2 should be the label of the sjump instruction. Now please learn this program very well. This program has been asked in the university examinations and it can be a small word instead of a single letter. You can easily modify the program if a small word is asked. And as I say always, please call me if you still can't understand this program. You may have to listen to this a few times before you can understand completely. Please do that. And if you still don't understand, please call me. Thank you.